فأما إن كان من المقربين فروح وريحان وجنة نعيم وأما إن كان من أصحاب اليمين فسلام لك من أصحاب اليمين وأما إن كان من المكذبين الضالين فنزل من حميم وتصلية جحيم إن هذا لهو حق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله جزاكم الله ما شاء الله. ما شاء الله.
Respected Maulana Sahab, Mufti Sahab, other Muslim Maulanas and Imams, my dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Let me again, as Mufti has welcomed you, I just want to take this opportunity to welcome our Maulana Sahab, who comes on with the ring and remember us at Fyrish. When Mufti Sahab called me and said, Maulana is coming to Fyrish, I'm very happy like the last time. The brothers were having a special guest. And now again, we are here. May Allah bless you, Maulana Sahab, to invite you to stay there. And may Allah bless all of us so we can benefit from your stay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sallallahu alayka ya Rasulallah wa sallam alayka ya Habiballah. हुजूर दर्द के मारे सलाम कहते हैं दिलों निगाह हमारे सलाम कहते हैं शफी रोज़े जज़ा तुम हो या रसूल अल्लाह गुनाहगार तुम्हारे सलाम कहते हैं ओ हम बेकसों का शाही मदीना सलाम लो हम बेकसों का शाही मदीना सलाम लो आका सलाम लो शहे बतहा सलाम लो हम बेकसों का शाही मदीना सलाम लो वल्लाह सारे नबियों के सरताज हो तुम्ही सरताज हो तुम्ही महबूब की उसाहिबे मेरा जो हो तुम्ही प्यारे रसूल अर्श के दूल्हा सलाम लो हम बेकसों का शाही मदीना सलाम लो तुमसे ही दीन मिल गया ईमान मिल गया ईमान मिल गया रहमत शाहे मदीना सलाम लो बलगल उला बेकमाल कशफ तुजा बेजमाल हसनत जमीउ के साले सल्लु अलैहि व आलिहि।
आमीन आमीन।
MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khairan. Allah reward you for accept. Beautiful man. May Allah give us tawfiq to qadar of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
आमीन।
Truly, what he was reading was that whatever we got is the barakat of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Due to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we got Iman, we got Deen, we got Quran, we got Hadith, we got Hidayah. So we present our salam and greetings to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We should try and read. We should try and read as much salawat as we can on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam throughout the day. And especially on Friday. I'm sorry I started off without numbers and I was so emotional, overwhelmed by the night. I forgot to read Bismillahir Rahmanir Raheem. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد. We should read as much Durood Salam as we can. I once went to USA, Chicago. I did one bayan over there. In the beginning, I talked about Salat and Salam. And I mentioned that Hazrat Pir Sahib, Hazrat Maulana Al-Hasan, son of Hazrat Shaykh al-Hadith, Maulana Muhammad Zakaria Sahib, Naqrullah Muqaddu, had come to the UK. And in every bayan, he used to say, well, read lots of Salam, read lots of Salat and Salam. And he said, if you can read 5,000 Salat and Salam a day, then within 25 days, meaning nearly 1 month roughly, you will send 125,000 durood and salam to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now imagine a house from which this much durood goes to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how much tawajjuh, attention will be directed towards that household sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's tawajjuh is directed towards us, हमारा बेड़ा पार हो गया, we are successful. His dua is better than our own dua. His istighfar for us is better than our own istighfar. I came to Guyana first time in 2006. Mufti Ramzan Sahib is sitting there. I asked him, Mufti Sahib, कहाँ तक तालीम है? Up to where are your classes? And he said, to Hidayah. And then, said, from Mishkat, Bukhari, we send them to South Africa. I said, no, we should keep them here for Mishkat and Bukhari. Why? I said, because when you will teach Mishkat Sharif, when you will teach Bukhari Sharif, you will be reading Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Every time the student and the teacher read Durood Sharif, it is delivered to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His attention, his tawajjuh is directed towards your Madrasa Hujjatul Ulama and towards the whole of Guyana, and his du'as will benefit all of Guyana, inshallah. And mashallah, Mufti Sahib took the message on board. And he might have had to go through some difficulty for 2-3 years, but now, alhamdulillah, things have settled down. Hadith Sharif is taught on a regular basis. We get Khatm Bukhari Sharif, we get our own homegrown graduates, and alhamdulillah, so much good is spreading. May Allah accept Mufti Ramzan Sahib's work and all the Hadiza, Maulana Tariq Sahib, Maulana Exemplary Sahib, Sheikh Nazam Sahib, Khalid Ni'matullah Sahab, and all the Asatiza. May Allah accept their good work and take the institute from strength to strength.
Amen.
So, I mentioned this, and Pir Sahib said that if you cannot read 5,000 durud a day, then 1,000. If not 1,000, then at least 500 a day. Does Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam not have this much haqq upon us? His right upon us, that we remember him every day. And we send 500 durud to him. You don't need to read the long durud, namaz wala durud Ibrahimi. You read namaz wala durud Ibrahimi once, and then you read sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Within 10 minutes you can do 500. But the thing is, do it. I mentioned this. After some days, when I came back home, United Kingdom, I got a phone call from Chicago. One friend who was from Bangladesh, and he said, Maulana Sahab, I did, have a habit of reading Durood Sharif, but after your bayan, I increased my Durood Sharif. And Alhamdulillah, I saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in my dream. Then he came to our area in Chicago, and we all rushed, we embraced, we were sitting there, people around him. And then I greeted the Prophet ﷺ, I shook his hands, I was really emotional. Prophet ﷺ was sitting there, and then suddenly he started crying, and tears fell from his eyes, on his cheek, and it was falling down. I stretched my hand, I took that tear in my hand, and I rubbed it on my face. And he said the amazing thing I noticed was that he came to our area in a janaza, in a coffin. He came out of that coffin, and then he sat up and he came and sat in the community. So what does this mean? I said, MashaAllah, first of all, Mubarak on seeing Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in your dream. And secondly, the janaza you saw of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the janaza of his sunnat. People are abandoning his sunnat, his way of life, his sunnat. People are deserting his sunnat. Sunnat in dressing, sunnat in eating, drinking, living, sleeping, talking. And sunnat in namaz, the sunnats before namaz, the sunnats after namaz, the sunnati muakkada, the sunnati ghair muakkada. People are leaving this. This is the meaning of his janaza. And his crying is also because he is fearful for his ummah. He is worried about the ummah, that where is the ummah heading by abandoning the lifestyle and the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And you are very fortunate, friend, that you got the tear of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and rubbed it on your face. This was the sunnah of the Sahaba radiallahu anhu. There is a hadith in Mishkah Sharif which says that Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was performing wudu, and the Sahaba were surrounding him, and when he would wash his limbs, they would not let the water fall on the ground, they would catch it in their hands and they would rub it on their faces. And they could not get that, they would take the wetness from the other person's hand and rub that on their faces. This was their ishq and love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not stop them. He let them do it. Then he asked, مَا حَمَلَكُمْ عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتُمْ? What made you do what you did? And they said, حُبُّ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Love for Allah and love for His Rasul make us do this. We love you, Ya Rasulullah. We love you. We love you. That's why we are taking the water and rubbing it on our head, face and our bodies. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, من سره أن يحب الله ورسوله أو قال يحبه الله ورسوله فليصدق الحديث إلى وَلْيُؤَدِّ الْأَمَانَةَ إِذَا اؤْتُمِنَ وَلْيُحْسِنْ جِوَارَ مَنْ جَاوَرَهُ. Whosoever is pleased by loving Allah and His Rasool, or he wants Allah and His Rasool to love him, then he should do three things. He or she, because ladies are here as well. We also do three things. Number one, speak the truth when you say something. When you talk to your friend, never lie. Always tell the truth. Make sure you are a truthful person. And number two, وَلْيُؤَدِّ الْأَمَانَةَ إِذَا اؤْتُمِنَ. If you are given some amanat, some trust, then fulfill that trust. Don't breach the trust. Don't break someone's trust in you. Because once the trust is broken, you do something wrong, you do khiyana, then that trust won't come back. You have to be trustworthy. You know, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam lived in Makkah Mukarramah for 40 years before he was given nubuwwat. For those 40 years, you know what the people of Makkah used to call him? They wouldn't call him by his name. They would call him As-Sadiqul Ameen, As-Sadiqul Ameen, As-Sadiqul Ameen. You know the incident when he was 35 and Ka'batullah Sharif was being constructed, and there was an argument about putting black stone Hajar Aswad in its place. There were 12 tribes and they were all saying, we want to do that, we want that honor. And swords were thrown out, they were going to fight. And they said, well, calm down, let's calm down. We'll give the faisla and judgment to the first person who enters through that door. He will judge between us. And the person to enter through that door was Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He was 35, not Rasul yet, not even the Quran. And as soon as they all saw him, they said, oh, As-Sadiqul Ameen is here, As-Sadiqul Ameen is here, As-Sadiqul Ameen is here. He'll make the best decision. And they asked him, this is the argument, what shall we do? He said, no problem, it's easy. Everybody will get the honor of placing Hajar Aswad in his place. Bring a sheet. And he said, put the Hajar Aswad in that sheet, and the 12 leaders of the 12 tribes, they all hold that sheet from sides, lift it up, and when he gets to the place of Hajar Aswad, I will place it there. So everybody is going to share in placing Hajar Aswad in his place. They said, wow, this is the best decision. They were happy, all argument was erased. So they used to call him As-Sadiqul Ameen. Imagine. He's not Rasul yet, but he always spoke the truth. He never broke anybody's trust. And the third thing he said was, وَلْيُحْسِنْ جِوَارَ مَنْ جَاوَرَهُ. And you should be very nice and kind in treating your neighbors, those around you. Not just neighbor in the house. Of course, the person living next to us is our neighbor, but also the person sitting next to you in the masjid is your neighbor. In the bus, in the train, in the aeroplane, in your classroom, in school, in college, whoever sits with you, at workplace, you are working together, your work colleague, they are all your mujawir, they are around you, they surround you. So you have to be nice to everyone who is in your surrounding, with whom you associate, with whom you interact throughout the day. He said, be very kind in your treatment of those around you. Whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your family, whether it's your wife, whether it's your children, whether it's your parents, whether it's your grandparents, your uncles, aunties, nephews, nieces, be very kind to each and every one. These three things he said. So, I said, this is in the hadith. Sahaba used to take his wuzu water and rub it on their faces. You stretch your hand and took the tear of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, rubbed it on your face. My friend, you are a very fortunate person. And then I got another phone call. This person, who also in Chicago, was a big businessman. He had 10-15 people working in his grocery superstore, and he had a lot of money coming in. He had a very nice large villa, family, children. But he says, I have no sukoon in my life. I was always running around and, tension. And Shaykh mentioned in his bayan that Durood Sharif has a calming, soothing effect. If you read Durood Sharif Salawat, then it calms you down. It brings peace and tranquility and sukoon. So he said, I make this habit that every night, before I go to sleep, I take the tasbih in my hand and I read Durood Sharif 500 times. 5 tasbih, doesn't take much time, 500 times every night before going to sleep. And he said, Maulana Sahab, amazing sukoon and peace in my life. And I get very nice peaceful sleep, no tension, no high running around all the time. Alhamdulillah. And sometimes if I forget, then I can't sleep properly. I get up and I finish my wazifa, then I go back to sleep. So when you have a habit, make a habit, and you have consistency in your life, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept, and Allah will give you that peace, tranquility, sukoon. This is why we should read as much salawat as we can on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. These students studying in Darul Uloom, studying Hadith Sharif, Riyadus Salihin, Mishkat, Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, mashallah, from morning till evening, they are reading Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is why one muhaddith, Ibn Hibban, said that there is a hadith which says, إِنَّ أَوْلَى النَّاسِ بِي يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَكْثَرُهُمْ عَلَيَّ صَلَاةً. The closest to me on the day of Qiyamah will be those who send salat upon me in abundance the most. Ibn Hibban said, there is basharat in here for Ahlul Hadith, those who busy themselves with Hadith, that they will be the closest to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on the day of Qiyamah, because whole day they are saying sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There is no one in the ummah reading salawat more than those who busy themselves with studying and teaching Hadith Sharif. So, we should increase our daily salawat. Will you do so, inshallah? Will you read salawat upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Make a habit, 500. Won't take much time. If you want, you can do this amal that you pray 5 times a day. After every salat, 100. So after 5 salat, it will be 500, inshallah. So this will bring you closer to your Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and increase your love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And my dear brothers, when you have this ishq of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, number one, it will save your iman, protect your iman. Right? Protect your iman. Believe me, it will protect your iman. There have been places where people with wrong beliefs and aqidas went. And they started preaching their Qadiyaniyat, Ahmadiyyat. Now, they were wealthy, money, they were giving out money and preaching their false impostor prophet, that he is the new prophet after Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the people, let them drag on for a bit. And then they said, that these people never prayed Durood Salam on the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They're not the right people. If they were on haqq, they would be reading Durood and Salam a lot. They never even talk about Durood and Salam. So they said, drive them out of here. They said, get out of here. We don't want you. We don't have too much knowledge, but we know that all this you're saying is blah 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 is wrong. We don't want to believe it. Go from here. They used to read Salat and Salam, and their Salat and Salam protected their deen and iman. Our Ustad Muhtaram Shaykh Yunus Sahab Rahmatullah alayhi related this to me, and the story was about your own country, Guyana. Some students from here went to study there in Saharanpur, and they related this to the Shaykh Yunus Sahab. And in our country this happened. Qadianis came, but they were driven out because they were not reading Salat and Salam. Allah protected me. Iman. So, number one, when you read Salat and Salam, your Iman is protected. Because your love increases for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Rasulullah's tawajjuh is towards you, your Iman is safe. Number two, when you read lots of Durood Sharif, Salatu Salam, you get the desire to follow in the footsteps of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, adapting his lifestyle, behaving like him, looking like him, and following his sunnah, his way of life. And this is something which is encouraged in the Quran and in the Hadith. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم. قل أطيعوا الله والرسول فإن تولوا فإن الله لا يحب الكافرين. وما آتاكم الرسول فخذوه وما نهاكم عنه فانتهوا واتقوا الله إن الله شديد العقاب. يا أيها الذين آمنوا أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم فإن تنازعتم في شيء فردوه إلى الله والرسول إن كنتم تؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا. فليحذر الذين يخالفون عن أمره أن تصيبهم فتنة أو يصيبهم عذاب أليم. من يطيع الرسول فقد أطاع الله ومن تولى فما أرسلناك عليهم حفيظا. وإن تطيعوه تهتدوا وما على الرسول إلا البلاغ المبين. تريد آيات اتباع الرسول، إطاعة الرسول, following each and every command of Rasul and following each and every sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah said, if you follow the way of the Prophet, you will become mahboob and beloved of Allah. Men or women, young or old, boys or girls, if you all love your Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and if you follow his way of life, Allah will love you. You want to become beloved of Allah? Who wants to become beloved of Allah? Put your hands up. Alhamdulillah. We all want Allah to love us. Because when Allah loves us, He's going to be there for us. He will provide everything for us. Everything is ours. When Allah is ours, the whole world is ours. When we lose Allah, we've lost everything. When we gain Allah, we've gained everything. Man kana lillah, kana Allahu lahu. Whoever becomes Allah's, Allah becomes His. We need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for that, we have to follow the sunnah of His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And in Hadith Sharif, Allahu Akbar, Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من والده وولده والناس أجمعين. None of you, man or woman, boy or girl, can be a perfect believer until and unless I become more beloved to them than their parents, their children, and the humanity as a whole. You love Allah's Rasul more than everyone. More than your parents, your children, your wife, your friends, your hobbies, your sports, your work, your job, your money, everything. Rasam, riwayat, shadi, biyah, everything is secondary. First is the hukum of Allah and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When this becomes your nature, then you will be 100% full and complete believer, perfect mu'min. You can't be a perfect mu'min until you develop this in you, that your Rasul becomes more beloved to you than the whole world and whatever it contains. This is a requirement to be a perfect believer. And when you get that love, then comes ittiba' sunnah. In one hadith, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, من أكل في عفة وعمل في سنة وأمن الناس بوائقه دخل الجنة. Whosoever has three qualities in him will definitely enter Jannah. Number one, he consumes whatever is halal and jaiz. Nothing haram and mashkook in his life. No haram money, no haram income, no interest money, no gambling money, no money earned in lying, cheating, fraud. He earns with his sweat, halal money. Whether you are doing खेती-बाड़ी, farming, but in your farming you deal in a proper, correct manner. You are a businessman, your business is clean and pure. You do job for someone, your work, you give your full time, you don't cheat, and you don't take more than what you are owed, and you are trustworthy. You earn in a halal way. And you buy halal chicken, halal meat, halal ingredients. You are careful about what you eat. Whatever goes down these two lips and into the stomach is pure halal. This is number one. Man akala fi iffati. You don't go around begging from people for no reason. You are content with whatever Allah provides for you. Wa amila fi sunnati. And he practices on the sunnah. He practices on the sunnah. He looks out for the sunnah. What is the sunnah of my Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam at this instance? And he learns that sunnah and he practices on that sunnah. We need to learn the sunnahs of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can go on the internet and search sunnahs of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can learn the sunnahs. Sunnahs of sleeping, sunnahs of eating, sunnahs of drinking, sunnahs of even going to the toilet and relieving yourself. Sunnah of wearing our clothing and taking off our clothing, sunnah of dealing and interaction with others, zahiri sunnah, batini sunnahs, sunnah of the heart, keeping the heart clean from all forms of jealousy, rancor, hasad, hatred, malice, sin. Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his heart was really pure and clean. So cleaning our heart is also an internal sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You learn all the external sunnah and the internal sunnah. You practice on them both. This is wa'amila fi sunnati. And wa'amila nasu bawa'iqahu. And people are safe from your harms and your attacks. People are not worried. As soon as you see that person, you're scared. Oh no, he's coming. He's going to do something. That is wrong. You should be a safe person. You should be a person who is welcome. MashaAllah, he's coming. Nice. Makes a cup of tea for him, cup of coffee for him. You should be a nice person. Your neighbors should not be scared of you. Those around you should not be scared of you. You should be safe. This reminds me of that hadith for ladies. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam was informed about this lady who used to pray a lot, read lots of Quran. She was very pious outwards, but she was abusive to her neighbors. She would shout and scream and swear and abuse and backbite and slander. He was told about this lady. And he said, he is in Nar. She is going in Jahannam. And he was told about another lady who would not pray so much nafil, no so much Quran. She would do her basic fara'is, whatever is fara'is, sunnat-e muakkada, no extra nawafil, no extra zikr and reading Quran. She would not show too much piety. But she was very careful. She would never hurt any of her neighbors. She was nice to everyone in her neighborhood, and everyone was safe from her. Nobody was scared of her. And Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, though she's not praying too many nawafil, but she will be going in Jannah. You see, this is wa'amil al-nasu wa wa'iqahu. In one riwayat he said, La yadkhulul Jannah من لا يأمن جاره بوائقه رواه Muslim. A person whose neighbors are not safe from his harms and attacks and abuses will not go in Jannah. He will be prevented. He will have to suffer the consequences before he is allowed in Jannah. So, second thing he said was, the third thing, وَأَمِنَ النَّاسُ بَوَائِقَهُ دَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ. Another hadith comes to my mind. Sayyidina Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu is the khadim of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He used to do lots of khidmat of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Rasulullah was really happy with him. So one day he was a young boy, he's only 11, 12 years old, 10 years old when he came in the khidmat of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He was a yatim. So his mother brought him to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, Anas is 10-year-old but he's very intelligent. Take him for your khidmat. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, okay. So Anas used to stay with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam throughout the day, and at night he would go to sleep at her mom's. But during the day he would be in the service of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he need go to this, call so and so person, get this from somewhere. And he used to run around because he was a young boy. He used to run around and do khidmat of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So one day Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to him, Ya Bunayya, dear son, in qadarta أن تصبح وتمسي وليس في قلبك غش لأحد فافعل. If you are able to spend your morning and your evening in such a manner that there is no ill feelings in your heart regarding anyone, then do so. ثم قال, then he said, يا بني وذلك من سنتي. Dear son, this is my way of life. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّ سُنَّتِي فَقَدْ أَحَبَّنِي. Whoever loves my way of life has loved me. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّنِي كَانَ مَعِي فِي الْجَنَّةِ. And whoever loves me will be with me in Jannah. You see, where this sunnah leads a person, it leads that person to be in Jannah with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. مَنْ أَحَبَّ سُنَّتِي فَقَدْ أَحَبَّنِي وَمَنْ أَحَبَّنِي كَانَ مَعِي فِي الْجَنَّةِ. So, we need to understand this point very carefully. Number one, we need to love Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And number two, when we love him, we should follow him. We should try and adapt his lifestyle. Be like him. Our haircut should be like his haircut. Our topi should be like his topi. He used to wear topi, he used to cover his head. He had 3 topis. One was white in color, another was black in color, another had 2 flaps which would cover his ears. He would wear that in battlefields, he would wear that topi, and on top of it, he would wear the metal helmet. And many times he would cover himself with a shimar, rumal, and he would often wear imamah. Ibn al-Qayyim rahmatullahi alayhi has written that sometimes he would wear imamah on a topi. Other times he would wear imamah without topi. And other times he would wear topi without imamah. All 3 are narrated in the hadith. So covering the head is the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wear a topi and wear it with the intention of following the sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Wear a nice topi, look good, you look nice in a topi. On his face, he had a beard. The hadith in Tirmidhi Sharif says that his beard was full and dense. It covered his chest. Kathul lihya. Kathul lihya means full and dense beard. So, how a full beard? If it goes over one fist, then you can't trim it, because there is another hadith which says that he would take over one fist and take it from there. I can take this if I want to, because the fish should be from the chin. So if you take it from here, you are allowed to take it. If you want to keep it straight, you can make it 2 parts, take from here, take another part, and take from here, and then straighten it here. This is the way to trim your beard. So you would have a nice beard. So wear a beard. Today many people have beard because they are famous sports stars of the beard. Their beloved sports star, football star, cricket star has kept beard, so they keep it. No, my friend, keep beard because it's the Sunnah of your Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you will get salam for keeping that beard. Allah will reward you for keeping that beard. And keep it with the intention of following the Sunnah. And keep it permanently. Where it is the Sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's good for you. It shows your masculinity. It protects you from many illnesses of the throat. Scientists have said that beard protects from many diseases on the Adam's apple and the throat. So keep a beard. There is a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave beard to men. Follow in his footsteps. Once I was in the USA, this doctor Sam told me a very nice story. That there was one of his friends who had a nice beard, who used to wear Sunnah clothing. He applied for a job. And he had a very high degree. And he was in hospital, some radiography or something, very senior post. So he went for the interview. He had sent his CV and he went for the interview. And the interviewer saw the CV, questions, everything. He said, you are the best person for this job. All the interviews I've made, among them, you are the best person. However, there's one problem. What's the problem? The beard. If you shave it, we'll give you the job. Why? Is that when it's in our requirements that this job should only be given to a person who's clean shaven? So he said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Sunnah of my beloved Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I cannot shave. Well, I can't do. So he was coming out, and in the veranda, the courtyard, there was a statue of Jesus, and Jesus had long hair and beard on the statue. So he looked at the statue, he went back inside. He called the interviewer and said, give me a minute, come here please. And said, if he came for this job, would you give him or not? So he was scratching his head. And he said, you have a point. I don't know what to say, but my hands are tied. I have to go buy the book. You write a note, I'll pass it on, and if the seniors accept it, no problem. No problem, give a piece of paper. He wrote a note. And they took it. And the seniors passed it and he got the job. And he kept his beard as well. So when you have that desire and love for your Rasool, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala paves the way for you. So this is Sunnah on the head, Sunnah on the face. Right? We can't make our eyes like the eyes of the Prophet. We can't make our face like his face. We can't make our ears like his ears. We can make our beard like his beard. This is something optional. We should love him so much that we want to be like him. Then clothing. He used to normally wear 2 sheets like we wear in Ihram. We go for Hajj and Umrah. That was the common libas. But he also wore qamees. And the sleeves of his qamees were up to his wrist. And the length of it was up to the half of the shin. That was his qamees. And he used to like qamees because qamees covers the satar beautifully. And there's no risk of any exposure or anything like there is in open chadar and open sheet. So he used to like qamees. And Hadith Sharif in Mishkat mentions his qamees. We should try and wear qamees like he used to wear. Thinking that it's sunnah, that's why I'm wearing it. And every day you wear that qamees like his qamees, you will get sawab for following his sunnah. Because your intention is to follow his lifestyle. And then eating, eat with the right hand, not with the left. Drink with the right hand, not with the left. Say Bismillah, and finishing say Alhamdulillah. Take small morsels, don't make large morsels. And don't fill your mouth when eating. Chew slowly and let the food digest. This is his way of eating, drinking, sleeping on the right side. Men and women, you all can do. Boys, we all can do this. Sleep on the right side, not on the left. Not flat, not on the belly. Some people sleep on their stomach. Prophet said, no, don't do that. This is bid'atu shaitan. Shaitan sleeps like that. Bid'atu ahli nar. The people of the fire sleep like that. Na'udzubillah. So don't sleep on your stomach. Sleep on your right side. Try to face the qibla when you're sleeping. This is his sunnah. And read the adhkar before going to sleep. He used to read, Allahumma bismika amutu wa ahya. Allahumma qini azabaka yawma tab'athu ibadaka. When he would wake up, he would say, Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'dama amatana wa ilayhi nushur. This is his lifestyle. And then namaz, pray namaz like he used to pray. First of all, the postures of namaz. Try to copy him. Raising your hands, folding them, ruku, sijda, tahiyyat, tasbihat. Learn everything from your Imam's heart and pray like he used to pray. And not only that, pray the faras and sunnahs. Many people don't pray sunnahs. They used to be salaam alaikum, and out. Last in, first out. Lastminute.com. That's not the way to behave. You should come as early as you can. Sit in the masjid. Pray your sunnahs before namaz. And then after namaz, pray the sunnahs which you need to pray. Pray witr after Isha. And read some zikr azkar and then leave. There is a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari wherein Habiba radiallahu anha says, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man thaba ala thintai asharata rak'atan fi yawm wal-layla banallahu lahu baytan fil jannah. Whosoever is punctual of 12 rak'ats in the day, Allah will construct a special palace for him in Jannah. 12 rak'ats. And then he explained, 2 before Fajr, 4 before Dhuhr, 2 after Dhuhr, 2 after Maghrib, and 2 after Isha. These are 12 rak'ats. Because of this hadith, they are called Sunnah-e Mu'akkadah. Sunnah-e Mu'akkadah. Emphasize the Sunnah. Mu'akkadah means there is great emphasis on being punctual of these Sunnahs. 2 before Fajr. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Rak'ata al-Fajr ahabbu ilayya min ad-dunya wa ma fiha. I love the 2 Sunnahs before Fajr more than the whole world and whatever it contains. You can say Bill Gates is the richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos of Amazon is the richest man in the world. Or Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. No, my dear brothers, my dear sisters, if you pray 2 rak'ats of Sunnah before Fajr, you are the richest person in the whole world. Because your Prophet said, Ahabbu ilayya min ad-dunya wa ma fiha. The dunya wa ma fiha is no comparison, has no comparison compared to these 2 rak'ats before Fajr namaz. Pray those 2 Fajr Sunnahs. أربع قبل الظهر تفتح لهن أبواب السماء. 4 rak'ats before Dhuhr, if you pray them, the gates of the heavens are opened up for you. تفتح لهن أبواب السماء. Allah opens the gates of Jannah for you if you pray the 4 Sunnahs before Dhuhr. Then whatever dua you make, your dua reaches high above the heavens to the arsh and throne of Allah, and Allah will give you whatever you ask for. 3 or 4 rak'ats before Dhuhr. And then 2 rak'ats after Dhuhr. 2 rak'ats after Maghrib. Another hadith says, من صلى بعد المغرب 6 ركعات عُدِلْنَ له بعبادة 12 سنة. Whoever prays 6 rak'ats after Maghrib and he speaks no evil in between the 6 rak'ats, 2, then these 6 rak'ats will be equal to him, for him, with the worship of 12 years. 6 rak'at will take you 6 minutes, and in 6 minutes you can earn the thawab of ibadat for 12 years. Who doesn't want that thawab? But we have to be a bit punctual. and 2 rakat after Isha. Sunnat Muakkada. Habiba radiallahu anha says, ever since I heard this hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I have never missed these 12 rakats. Habiba radiallahu anha is the beloved wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the daughter of Sayyidina Abu Sufyan radiallahu anhu, the sister of Sayyidina Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. She came to the house of the Prophet ﷺ in the year 7 after Hijrah, after Sulh Hudaybiyah, after the Battle of Khaybar. So she says that I never ever missed these 12 rakats since I heard this hadith from Rasulullah ﷺ. Ibn Ambasa, the narrator says, I have never missed these 12 rakats since I heard the hadith from Habiba. And Amr ibn Abasa says, I never missed these 12 since I heard this hadith from Ibn Ambasa, my ustad. And the chain goes on. Narrators, each one saying that since I heard this hadith, I never missed out on these 12 rakats. You've heard this hadith today. Will you practice on it, inshallah? Inshallah. Inshallah. May Allah give us all tawfiq to practice on all we learn. Ilm is for amal. Studying is for practicing. Learning is for practicing. We've learned this sunnah. We need to put it into practice. May Allah give us tawfiq.
Amen.
Another hadith comes to my mind. Tasbihat Fatima. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's beloved daughter, Hazrat Fatima Zahra radiallahu anha, extremely beloved to him. She was look-alike and copy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu anha says that she used to walk like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, her father. She used to talk like her father. She used to behave like her father. She was very soft and gentle like her father. She used to sit like her father. When she would come to her father's house, her father Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would get up and raise her and seat her in his own place. When he would go to her house, she would get up and raise him and sit him in his place. This was his love for Hazrat Fatima radiallahu anha. He said, Fatima bad'atun minni, yuzini ma alaha wa yarisuni ma arabaha. Fatima is part of me. Fatima is like a piece of flesh of me. She is part of me. And whatever disturbs her disturbs me. Whatever hurts her hurts me. He used to love Fatima radiallahu anha. Once he got Fatima, Ali, Hassan, Hussein in a sheet and covered them. And then he said, Allahumma ha'ulai ahlu bayti, fa'adhib anhum al-rijs wa tahhirhum tatheera. These are my family members. Remove all filth and dirt from them and cleanse them and purify them. He said that Fatima to Sayyidatu Nisa'i Ahlul Jannah, she is the leader of the ladies of Jannah. All the ladies who go in Jannah, their Sayyida and leader will be Hazrat Fatima radiallahu anha. So, this extremely beloved daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to do all the housework herself. She used to grind the wheat barley, make the dough, start the stove and cook the bread with her own hands. She used to wash the clothes. She used to go to the well and carry water, bring it to the house. She used to do everything, look after Hazrat Ali his horse and his belongings, clean the house. She was so busy throughout the day. Her hands, the skin of her hands had become hard and coarse due to lots of work. So once Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if any slaves come to me from any war and battle, remind me, I will give you a khadim. So she heard the news that there's been some battle and some prisoners of wars have come and they are going out, being given out to people's homes for khidmat. So she said, I will go. Now she came to Rasulullah's house, and then Aisha radiallahu anha, and Aisha radiallahu anha said, he's not here at the moment, he's gone out somewhere. But but what was your need? Why did you come? And she said, I heard that some khadims have come and I need one khadim to help me around with the housework. So she said, no problem, I'll pass the message on when he comes. Fatima radiallahu anha left. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came home later that evening, Aisha radiallahu anha informed him. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam immediately went to Hazrat Fatima's house. Now it was nightfall and Hazrat Fatima had retired to bed. Hazrat Ali was also retiring to bed. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came and he went in the house and they were both about to get up, but Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, stay where you are. And he just came and sat in between them both. And then he said, Berbice, you came to ask for a khadim? And she said, yes, I need someone to help me around in the household. So, Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, shall I not tell you something that is better for you than having a khadim? And she said, of course. And he replied, you read 33 times Subhanallah, 33 times Alhamdulillah, and 34 times Allahu Akbar before you go to sleep is better for you than having a khadim. She said, no problem, I will read this. Now she starts reading. What had happened was, the khadims had all been given out, distributed, there were no left. And the Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught her something that would bring her more reward, and also at the same time, what is the purpose behind having a khadim and attendant? Help with the housework, and bring relief. The Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, read these tasbihat, you will get nice, peaceful sleep. When you wake up in the morning, you will be fresh. And as though you've got your energy back and you'll be able to do all the work which you need to do. This is the hikmah. Ulama say, Shaykh Zakaria write in Fadail Amal, that perhaps this is the hikmah behind teaching Tasbihat al-Fatih. That you will get that, help which you need through a khadim, you will get that help through this tasbihat. Read this tasbihat, you will get nice peaceful sleep, you will be relaxed. In the morning your energy will be restored and you will be able to continue with your work. And Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught her these tasbihat. She starts reading this. This is why these tasbihat are called Tasbihat-e-Fatima. Tasbihat-e-Fatima. Now, the point I want to make is, Sayyidina Ali karamullah wajhahu was also there. He also reads this tasbihat. And he says, مَا تَرَكْتُهُنَّ مُنْذُ سَمِعْتُهُنَّ مِنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I have never ever left these tasbihat since I heard them from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Someone asked him, وَلَا لَيْلَةَ السِّفِّينَ? Not even at the night of Siffin? And he said, وَلَا لَيْلَةَ السِّفِّينَ. Siffin is a battle which took place between Sayyidina Ali and his opponents in the year 37 after Hijrah. So, possibly 30 years had passed. And he said, throughout those 30 years, I never missed these tasbihat al-Fatima. I have been punctual of reading them before I go to sleep. And not even that night where there was chaos running around, turbulence, everybody is terrified, don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Hazrat Ali said that I went to relax and get a little bit of sleep, but even in spite of that fatigue and tiredness and chaos and anxiety and worry, I did not leave these tasbihat even on that night. This was their punctuality on the sunnah which Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught them. Whether they were the 12 rakats or sunnah mu'akkada, or whether they are the tasbihat Fatima, they were really punctual. They held on to each and every sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. On one occasion, someone said something to one sahabi that we should not do this, we should do it like this. And that thing was against the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the sahabi replied, نحن قوم أعزنا الله بالإسلام فمهما ابتغينا العزة في غيره أذلنا الله. Another instance, Sayyidina Huzaifa radiallahu anhu said, أأترك سنة حبيبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لهؤلاء الحمقاء? Am I going to leave the sunnah of my Habib sallallahu alayhi wasallam because of these fools? You are impressed by these fools? There was the Christian priest who was sitting down to eat, and Sayyidina Huzaifa ibn Yaman was there, and a morsel fell off his hand, and he was about to pick it up, and someone whispered in his ears, these are big 40 generals, big people, don't pick it up, they'll feel bad. And Sayyidina Huzaifa looked at him and got angry, and he said, am I going to leave the sunnah of the Prophet because of these fools? He has taught us that if some morsel falls on the ground, don't leave it for shaitan, pick it up. If there's something on it, clean it and eat it. Today, if a grape falls, we crush it with our feet. That's against the sunnah of the Prophet. It's rizq, it's ni'mat of Allah. Don't throw bread in the bins, don't throw rice in the bins. Because if bread once deserts your house, it's not going to come back. So you have to be very careful with regards to this. Follow in the footsteps and the sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sit properly, sit properly. So, we are talking about, we started off with salatu salam, love for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When we love Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we will read lots of salat and salam upon him. When we read lots of salat and salam upon him, our iman will be strengthened. We will perhaps see him in our dreams, inshallah. He will appear in your dream if you read lots of salat and salam every night. And number 3, we will get the urge to adapt his lifestyle, follow his lifestyle, be like him, look like him. And number 4, when we follow his footsteps, we will become mahboob and beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we all want to become mahboob and beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah give me the tawfiq to follow in the footsteps of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Our mashayikh, when we study their lives, Allahu Akbar, they were so punctual, not only of sunnah, but even mustahab. Reminds me of Hazrat Shibli, rahmatullahi alayhi. Khalifa of Hazrat Junaid Baghdadi, rahmatullahi alayhi. People used to call him madman, but he was not mad. He was very punctual of each and every sunnah mustahab. He was on his deathbed, he's dying. And he tells Khadim to bring some water and help him do wudu. So he can't move. So the Khadim brings the water and slowly washes his face and his hands and helps him to do wudu. He somehow gargles the mouth, cleans the nostrils. Now the Khadim forgets to do khilal of the beard. Khilal of the beard, you don't need to wash the extra hair. You only need to wash what is on the round circle of the face. And for the hair which are hanging, you can just do khilal of it like this. Pass the wet hand through it. So he forgot to do the khilal, which is mustahab. What is it? Mustahab. Now Hazrat Shibli rahmatullah alayhi did not have enough energy to take water and do the khilal, and he was saying, so Khadim could not understand. So what Shibli did was, he took hold of the Khadim's hand and put it in his beard. And Shibli breathed his last while the Khadim's hand was inside his beard. It was his last moment, and he did not want to leave one mustahab amal. Hazrat Ji Maulana Ilyas Sahib rahmatullahi alayhi, or is it Maulana Yusuf Qadri rahmatullahi alayhi, one of the two. He was very sick and well, was lying on his bed, and he was wearing socks. So he said to the Khadim, I am feeling hot, take my socks off. So the Khadim started taking the right sock off first, and Hazrat said, no, screaming. Khadim couldn't understand. He thought something happening to him, he's going to get some seizure or something. So he said, okay, Hazrat, calm down. Again he started taking the right from off. And meantime, Hazrat's son came in and he said, I don't know, every time I start to take his sock off, he just cringes. And he said, which sock will you take off? This one. He said, right, this is the right one. He's trying to say, take the left one off first. That is sunnah. When you wear the right first. And when you take off, you take the left off first. Oh, that is it. Then he took the left off and Hazrat was calm and he didn't shake. He didn't, shake. This was their, adherence to the sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. One Sahaji, Maulana Ilyas Sahib, in Markaz Nizamuddin, he was walking fast, back and forth. People were sleeping. It was maybe Qailullah time or late morning time. People were resting, but Hazrat was walking back and forth. Someone said, Hazrat, what are you doing? And he said, today in Shama'il al-Tirmidhi, we read the hadith about the manner in which Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to walk. So I'm practicing that walk so I can walk like him. The hadith says that he used to walk fast, he used to look down and his chest would be down and he would lift his legs properly, he wouldn't drag them and he would not stamp his feet on the ground. He would walk in a humble manner. وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. So I'm trying to practice the manner of the walk of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Our Hazrat Shaykh al-Hadith, Mawlana Muhammad Zakaria Sahib rahmatullah alayhi, he came to United Kingdom in 1979 and then 1981. Now, he was extremely old, weak, frail, 86 years old at that time. He could barely move. He had to be carried to the toilet, brought back. Assistance was needed. Now the khadim comes and brings some medicine, puts it in a spoon and is going to give him to drink. Hazrat said, no. And then he said, help me sit up. So he sits up properly and then he takes the medicine and he says, it is against the sunnah to eat and drink something whilst you're lying down or whilst you're leaning and relaxing on something. Imagine 86-year-old man, so much love for the sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We often eat and drink whilst we are lying down, resting, relaxing, leaning. We should try and follow in this sunnah as well of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So, today's lesson is about ittiba' sunnah. And the more we are close to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the more successful we will be. Our Kamil say that Salafi Salihin were successful because they followed the Sunnah due to it being the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we are not successful, we are failing because we abandon the Sunnah because it's only Sunnah. We say Farz is okay, we're doing the Farz, we don't need to do the Sunnah. So they were successful because they used to look for each and every sunnah and practice on that sunnah. We are failing because we look for sunnah and we say, oh, it's only sunnah, we'll do the first, that's enough for us. Especially during the time of Hajj. People say, what is that, what is it? And we say, well, this is sunnah, alright, sunnah, so we've done the first Hajj, if sunnah we leave it, there's no problem. Na'udzubillah. This is our behavior with the Sunnah. We should try and do each and everything according to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our namaz, roza, zakat, sadaqah, khairan, lillah, hajj, our whole life should be in confirmation with the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Learn his Sunnah. Zikr, he used to busy himself in zikr. He would pray tahajjud every night. He never missed tahajjud throughout his whole life, whether in safar or hadar. He prayed Sunnah and tahajjud namaz. And after Fajr, he would sit in the masjid, do zikr until the sun rises beautifully. Maybe 45 minutes to an hour, sitting in the masjid doing zikr of Allah. How many of us sit in the masjid after Fajr, read some Quran, Yasin Sharif, Sibaka, do zikr, follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me the tawfiq to study the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and to learn his Sunnah, follow in his Sunnah, to learn each and every Sunnah and adapt it, and to read lots of salawat and durood upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we're going to try and read 500 through today, inshallah. 500, more than 10 to 15 minutes. Small durood. Once you must read the durood in the beginning. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama salli ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. And then sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, 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 sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In one breath you can read 10 times. Won't take much time, 10 minutes. Take out 10 minutes for your own good. You'll increase the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in your heart. May Allah give me tawfiq to you as well. May Allah accept from us. Jazakumullah for giving me the opportunity, to Imam Sham as well, and to the committee and the community, and to the ladies as well for coming down. May Allah give us benefit from what has been said. Give us tawfiq to practice. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك انت كما اثنيت على نفسك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الامي وعلى اله واصحابه وسلم تسليما. اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب رسولك وحب من ينفعنا حبه عندك وحب عمل يقربنا الى حبك. اللهم احينا على حبك وعلى حب حبيبك صلى الله عليه وسلم، وامتنا على حبك وعلى حب حبيبك صلى الله عليه وسلم، واحشرنا يوم القيامة على حبك مع حبيبك صلى الله عليه وسلم وأحبائك من الأولياء والعلماء والصلحاء والمشايخ يا رب العالمين. يا رب العالمين. Allah, you are the most forgiving, the most merciful, the most kind, the most generous. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to pray our Maghrib Salah and now our Isha with Jama'ah, and giving us the tawfiq to sit in your house and listen to something about our beautiful deen. Oh Allah, whatever has been said, accept it from us. Shower your rahmah and mercy upon all those men and women, young and old, who are sitting over here. Forgive all our past sins. Oh Allah, forgive all our sins, major and minor. Oh Allah, give us the tawfiq to avoid all sins in future. Oh Allah, forgive the whole Muslims of this locality, and Muslims of this country, and Muslims of the whole world. Forgive all our marhumeen, those who have passed away, those who passed away during COVID due to the illness. Oh Allah, give them the rank of shaheed, elevate their ranks in Jannah. Oh Allah, keep us strong on Sirat al-Mustaqim, keep us steadfast on Sirat al-Mustaqim. Give us the tawfiq to follow all your commands, instructions, and take halal as halal, haram as haram. Give us tawfiq to understand what is jaiz, what is najaiz, and give us tawfiq to learn the beautiful sunnahs of our beloved Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and to follow in his footsteps, to be like him, look like him, behave like him, and Allah, to follow his sunnah in all walks of life, our lives. Allah, the ladies who are here, Allah, accept their coming as well. Allah, accept their efforts. MashaAllah, they are doing proper hijab. Help them to adhere to the hijab and make their children and their daughters also wear hijab properly. Give us all the understanding of your deen and accept us all for the khidmat of your deen. Allah, protect this masjid, protect Imam staff. Allah, protect all those Muslims who are living in this neighborhood and reward them for their efforts. Give them the ability to come to the masjid, to fill the masjid, to pray all 5-time namaz in the masjid, to pray all the sunnati muakkada and sunnati ghair muakkada, and hold on to the sunnah of beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Accept our efforts. Be pleased with us. Oh Allah, the jalsa which is going to take place tomorrow in Hujjatul Ulama, Allah, make all the preparations easy for those who are busy in preparations. And Allah, make the jalsa successful. Allah, and preserve the Quran Sharif in the heart of the Huffaz and Hafiza, Salihah, and Anzar Shah, and Mashraf, and Ni'mat al-Asraf sons. Allah, preserve the Quran in their hearts for as long as they live. and accept them for the khidmat of deen. Make them good ulama and huffaz and khadim of deen and good hafizat and abbas and khidmat of deen, and accept the good work of Hujjatul Ulama and spread its views throughout the whole of Guyana. Give the community the love of Hujjatul Ulama and the ability to send their children to Hujjatul Ulama and make them good scholars and accept them for the khidmat of the deen. Accept all the khidmat of all the ulama kiram throughout this whole country. Reward them in full. Accept our efforts. Be pleased with us. Give us all those good things which your beloved Rasool sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked from you. Protect us from all those evils from which he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sought your protection. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصل اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
You know how to calculate this? I'll show you how to learn X, right?